here, zoom it up. I'm like, no, we can't zoom it up. Like, that's too much.
The
And
funny
Zoom
thing
never
is,
works.
I could see you, and I'm like, oh my God. And my husband was like, calm down. Anxiety does not need to happen right now. I'm like,
No.
it's the devil. It's the devil.
N- No, it isn't. Like, it's fine. Like, I just was like, I'll bring on some friends and just talk until we can get you on. But I'm like, I'm not doing that. What he's talking about, like, no.
Thank you
So,
for being patient with me. Thank you.
oh,
Because
that's
I
the only
test this
way.
thing. I test this thing all weekend. I talked to my sister. I said, okay, we're going to do this. And then it
Mhm.
gets here and it's like, oh my God, what's going on? No. But
It
I'm
was
here.
just testing to see, like, hey, are you going to give up or are you going to actually continue to keep on and try and get on? So it was like, you know what? I love talking. So I could talk to anybody. I'm like, come on here and say, hey, what's up? And I knew that somebody's in the studio, like Bots was. So I'm like, let me bring him on. He can play some music in between, but you're going to get on here. I'm like, we're not doing that. That's not happening. That's the thing with being an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. I don't see
Mhm.
anything else but the goals. So it's like if we're
That's
gonna
right.
talk, we're gonna talk, and it doesn't matter. Like I don't care what happens in between. I can wait. Trust
I'm
the
here, so
process.
thank you.
So you are
Sorry.
here. So you are here. How are you doing, Miss Lena Michelle, R&B Empress?
I am doing well, doing fine now that I'm able to see you and talk to you and talk to everyone. So sorry for making you all wait, but let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun. So let's start with the question I always ask everyone because we are in this pandemic. How are you doing?
You know what? 2020 owes me nothing. I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. I'm praying. I'm reading. I'm working on my album, and I'm doing good in the house. I've discovered rooms in my house I didn't even know I had.
Oh, yes. Isn't that awesome? Like I absolutely love being here at home. Like everything I need at this season right here is right here and I'm just loving
Hmm.
it. And I'm doing these conversations because I would have never I don't think that I would have ever done that. That's the beautiful thing about what we look at as challenges. It actually helps us discover things that we would have never discovered had that never happened. So I'm grateful for it. I am so grateful. My
Yeah.
nephew said the album. Let's get to it, right? Um, I want to talk a little bit about. Gosh, I wish that it didn't cut off, or did it? Oh no, it didn't. I want to talk about this. You got to
Whew.
perform. Tell me this. Tell me about this experience.
The funny thing about it, I always wanted to perform in the arena with the Pistons.
Uh huh.
And at the time, I believe it was the Palace of Auburn Hills. And I tried to perform there, and I was told, no, you can't do it. We're not doing that. And I just told myself I wasn't ready. It wasn't my time.
Right.
Fast forward to the Little Caesars Arena. I performed there, and I thought I wasn't ready, but it was like, here's your mic, showtime, let's go, let's see what you can do. And I got up there, and it felt so good to see people that didn't even know the words to my music still rocking and clapping and cheering me on. That felt so good. It was like
I
I became alive then.
I bet that energy had to feel amazing. I had took a picture of this
Mhm.
earlier and I said, ooh, I hope that it shows the picture because sometimes when I post the pictures, it cuts the head off and all this crazy stuff. But this shows it perfectly. And I'm like, I want to ask her what that looked like when she was there, like that vibrations, the frequencies, and all of that was going on. Oh my God, you're in the
And
middle.
that day when I did that performance, I was in so much pain. I don't know if I had pulled a muscle or what, but I could not turn to the side. So it's like, okay, you have to do this, or somebody else is going to do it, and I'm not going to let
That's
anybody else take my
true.
opportunity.
Oh, no, we can't do that. I talk a lot about resilience. I'll be going back and forth, okay? So just follow me. I talk a lot about resilience, and when you think about it in the dictionary, it's something that, looks like an obstacle, but you were able to kind of push through it. Is there ever a time or experience that you can share where you felt like you had to activate resilience?
I would have to say all the time. I'm a person that suffers from, well, said to
Uh-huh.
suffer from depression and anxiety. So when you get those two mixed, it's like okay, forget it. I'm just going to stay home and I'm going to go to sleep. But
Yeah.
again, being an entrepreneur, I can't just go to sleep. I have to get up. I want to leave something behind, not only for my future children, but my future grandchildren to be able to look back and say, I know that lady. I'm related to her. So I have to push through and keep going. So all I can do is pray.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I was talking to Bob Marley's nephew recently. I think it was about a week ago he was on here. And I'm like, can you imagine like looking up to, your uncle is Bob Marley? That's going to make you go and go harder. So when they look up and they see all these amazing projects that you create, all these amazing more performances, once everything starts to turn back over, it's going to be even bigger and better than you imagined. They're going to be able to see
Yes.
all of that. And who knows, all of the lives that you touch just by sharing your testimony each time that you do interviews. So you never know,
Thank you.
like we tend to, as entrepreneurs, we look at numbers and we evaluate by, what quarter we're in and what it looked like last. But honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like if we just be grateful and just really like love on where we're at and what we're doing and what we're creating, we don't have to worry about, am I going to be able to leave something behind? We don't have to worry about, am I
Right.
going to be able to feed my family? Because you're on your path, you're where you're supposed to be. You've discovered your purpose, and here you are. You know what I mean? So you have a
Especially
choice,
especially during this pandemic. Oh my gosh.
but you still have a choice.
Yes, yes. That is very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, because someone could live this same very year in 2021 if they don't change their mind about how they're looking at the situation.
Exactly. You have to
you
pray.
you
Pray.
have to
I
pray.
truly believe in prayer. Like, wow, if I did not know God, I wouldn't know anything. So I
You have to
believe in
pray.
prayer. Yes, yes.
Let me see if I can find this part. See, it cut it off.
Oh.
That part. Let's talk, right, exactly. Hey girl. I won't leave it up there, but hey, let's talk about this project.
The Blue Dream Avenue Project, of course,
Hmm.
Blue Dream is a strand of medical marijuana. I'm not the type of person that's just going to use it and sit around and say, okay, I'm feeling good. No, I got creative and I just start writing, and it went from a book of poems and turned into music, and I
Wow.
just ran with it, and it's still selling to this day,
That is so,
and
yeah,
everybody,
I like it.
oh, thank you, thank
Yeah, I
you.
like it a lot. One of the songs that I really thought was kind of cool was Catch 22, because I said, how many times have I heard someone saying that when I was growing up? It's a catch 22 that maybe it might or might not work, or it's a catch
Right, right.
22 that they have all of these sayings attached to catch 22. So it was kind of cool that you added that into your artwork,
When I
your
wrote that
the music. That's so
song,
cool.
when I wrote Catch 22, I was thinking of a past relationship I had, and I always loved music since I was a child.
Uh-huh.
And my ex-fiance, he would always say, okay, you wasting your time in this studio, but you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And I kind of think he wanted me to take care of him a little bit more, but that's a whole new subject.
Right.
And I just left him alone. I said, you know what? I can't be with somebody that's not pushing me or being my personal cheerleader. I'm
Yeah.
cheering you on, but you're not cheering me on. And then I met my now husband, and he's my manager. And yeah, God works in mysterious
Ooh,
ways.
yes, he does, because a relationship without reciprocity will die. No matter how hard you
Yes,
try to keep it together, if we're not giving and watering each other garden, it's gonna definitely eventually die. So, congratulations
that's
to
right.
you noticing that
Thank
the
you.
season was over. Because a lot of times people don't recognize that when the season is over, where they do recognize it, but they just don't want to see it. You know what I mean? Like they
Yes.
just don't want to feel that pain. They don't want to go through the recovery process. So,
And
congratulations
I
to you.
was crazy in love with that guy. When I say crazy in love, it's like if he said jump, I wouldn't even say how high. I'll just
You
say,
would
I know
just
what you
do
mean,
it. Yeah.
But I look back at myself and I'm like, you are dumb. Just dumb,
Wow.
young and dumb. Like, he doesn't have anything going for himself and is not even trying. So,
But that's how we learn,
yeah.
though, by making those mistakes. What do you learn? When did you start doing music?
Professionally, I believe it was 2009.
Okay.
I was singing since I was 3. My mom made sure we stayed in the choir or, doing something at church. And
Uh-huh.
I came up with this song at the age of 3 called Save the Bunnies. And my mom noticed that it had a melody, and the words was
That is
actually
so
making sense.
cool.
And
Hmm.
ever since she put that karaoke mic in my hand, I just took it and ran with it.
Wow. And so you've been doing it for that long, since yay high.
Yeah. Thanks to my mommy and my dad.
I love Marvel movies. I love comics. I love the whole superhero story. I think it's kind of cool because they go through so many things and they have like a mission, and then he pulls out the superpowers and then he goes against somebody who is kind of matched up with it. And
Hmm.
one person wins over the other, whatever. If you had like a superpower, what would that be? Like which one you choose?
Hmm. That's a good question. I would probably have to say my pen and my paper would probably be my superpower and well, writing. And the reason I say that
Writing.
because a lot of times when I'm not able to express myself from talking, I'll probably blow up and get mad. Instead, it's like, calm down, take your journal out, write it down. I'm a strong advocate of write down what you want to say to somebody when you're mad and then rip
Absolutely.
it up. And I've done that plenty of times. And it's like, okay, it's not worth it. You're still living. Just keep on going with your day. So
You're
writing would
still
have to be my
here.
superpower. That's right.
E-
That's right.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Music happens in cycles. So do
Yes.
you ever feel like with your music that you have to adapt to the time?
Yes, I do. I do because I look at what I was doing before and I
Hmm.
look at what I'm doing now. It's a huge change, huge. And I truly agree with the concept that J. Cole has, the middle child. I'm a millennial, so it's like I'm in the middle with the music and it's trying to adapt to the younger crowd, but then on the other hand, still trying to adapt to my crowd and older. So it's a challenge, but yeah, I'm
Do
able to
you,
do it.
do you think that it's a challenge because um, you're not, let's see, staying authentically to whatever sound you're feeling and what you want to emit to the world, right? Do you
Hmm.
feel that it's a challenge because you are thinking about like maybe the marketing aspect of it instead of the purpose of it?
At times, yes, yes. And even little simple things as, a lot of cursing is going on in music and a lot of talking about sex. Nothing wrong with that. That's what they decide to do. But
Right.
I also have to look at the older crowd and or my more mature crowd that are buying my music.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they talked about sex and cursing, but it wasn't quite so out in the open. So it's
Yeah.
like, if I do this song, they're gonna buy it. But then if I do this song, the more mature crowd gonna buy it. I try to do something like I'm trying to think of an artist like back in the day, Minnie Riperton, how she
Uh-huh.
could make a song and everyone was able to listen to it, but at the same time, she put metaphors in her music. And so it's
Yeah.
like I'm trying to do that.
I know because I hear a lot of artists say that, and sometimes I kind of cringe in the inside when I hear it because I feel like
Hmm.
if you stay true to your sound, that's no matter what you do. You can sing, you can drum, you can produce, you can write. But if you don't write according to that vibration that you're feeling on the inside that you need to
Hmm.
write on that paper, the song will not it won't connect with the people that it needs to connect with. And when you
Very
don't
true.
connect truly and give your all to that purpose, that thing, then you will only be able to get to a selected few of people anyway. We always have
Correct.
to stay true to who we are, not worry about no numbers and no statistics, because if we're true to who we are, you can reach masses of people that you never thought you would reach.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and my business is Sharon Dursko International. I am international. I'm across the world. I've been working with people in Africa and people over here now in Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
And I was right here because I stay true to who I am. I've never veered off and felt like I needed to be anything other and less than who I am. I give you me. I give you the girl
Mm-hmm.
that survived domestic violence. I give you the girl that went through homelessness and all of that because she left her
Wow.
home. I left my home behind. I left the cars behind because that is not what's going to sustain me. What's going to sustain me is how I think and how I make my decisions and the choices that I choose. So I just stay true to your sound. And I promise you, if you stay true to your sound and choose your path, they're going to be like, how the heck did she do it? Because you
That's
did it because you were on your path. When you choose that path, your purpose, there is no challenges. There's only obstacles to strengthen us. There's no challenge. It would be so free. It's free for me to stay here and talk to you. I feel free. I could do this all night long speaking because I found my purpose. It's only a challenge when we're not living in that. When I'm worrying about demographics, they were asking me something a little while ago, and they said, oh, well, what's your demographics for the speaking thing or
mm-hmm.
whatever? I'm like, people. Like, what? I can talk to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking
Mm-hmm.
about? I don't want to do that. Like, I just want to speak. I want to speak to the kids. I want to speak to the teenagers. I want to just talk
Mm-hmm.
and speak to people because we have to be very intentional how we spend in our time. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing
Well,
your
thank you.
story and being so vulnerable and talking about your creations and listening to, whether you agree with me or not, you're listening to me and I'm enjoying your conversation thus far. And I just know that you
Same
have
here.
your words are very amazing, and that is for the world. It's never just for, we don't need to worry about which, then stop it. Like, we don't need to worry
Mm-hmm.
about, is it the younger group? If I connect with the younger group, then I win. Who said that?
Mm-hmm.
Who
Mm-hmm.
made that up? Who said
And you
that?
know what? What you said, what you're saying, far honestly. Because, like you said, you can't adapt to everyone. Well, you can't adapt
You
to certain
can't.
groups.
You
And
right.
wow,
Our purpose is
that's
our
the best
purpose.
advice.
That's like someone people sometimes worry about. Like, say we have a guy on the street who can motivate the children more than anybody else on that block. But because he's worrying about a big, massive audience, he won't even talk to the kids on his street because the number isn't big enough. How ridiculous is that? We all are
Yes,
here for a purpose. You have to find that purpose, or that's the biggest tragedy. It's not death, it's living without a
that's right.
purpose. I believe is the biggest tragedy. So I always like these conversations. Of course, we definitely share your products. I want to talk about that because that's choosing your path. But I also want to talk about how we navigate and get through it. A lot of times people, they're like, oh, you went through that, but they really want to know, how did you get through it? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling that right now, or I'm in it. There may be some woman right now in an abusive relationship, and hopefully she can look on here and say, what the heck? So, like, she
Mm-hmm.
survived. Are there any like causes or organizations, things that you support?
At the moment, I'm looking for I guess you could say, an authentic one because
Uh-huh.
I was supporting one with money at the time, and come to find out they weren't
What about
even
just the
legit.
cause? I don't even care about like dropping organizations. I want to know, like,
Right.
what causes do you support?
Feeding families like Gleaners. I love them.
Oh,
Um,
that's beautiful.
I love that. Just to
That's
see
what I'm
their
going to be doing with these
faces. I
donations.
love that.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
I'm going to go
That
to the
is
women's shelter and
wonderful.
do that. Yeah. Go.
I
Tell me.
tr- I truly believe in family. Truly do. I don't have
Oh,
any
that's
children
beautiful.
yet, but my mom and dad has been together a long time. And
Oh,
just to see how my mom still glows from the way my dad is with her, and vice versa, how my dad turns into a teddy bear, and my sister and I were able to grow up and see that. I say, you know what? I love family. I truly believe in family.
That is so beautiful. Oh, look
Thank
at
you.
Tyra.
Thank
She put
you.
the hearts. I wanted to make sure I'm not missing any comments. I'm scrolling down. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys, everybody, for being on here and listening and choosing your path. We have Lena Michelle, 4-time award-winning R&B artist. That is amazing. Yeah, we got to talk
Thank
about
you.
that. How did the awards come about? One, two, three, four. Like,
You know, it's funny because in my own city,
mhm.
a lot of people claim that they didn't know who I was. So I said, okay, let me show you that people know who I am. Two of my awards came from Las Vegas. One of my awards came from Jacksonville, Florida, and these were all fan choice.
Yeah,
And one of the awards I did get from Detroit was the Spirit of Detroit Award for making history in my city. Because when I sung inside of the LCA for the Detroit
I was going to
Pistons,
go right back to that.
I was the first independent African American artist to perform, not cover songs, my own original music.
Yes.
And I was placed in the Charles H. Wright Museum as well and had an exhibit. And that's when our city council presented me with an award saying congratulations.
This is absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. It's all
Wow.
God. It's all God. It's all Him. It's
Absolutely
all Him.
amazing. Let me shout out my sponsor. Oh, yes, yes, you would get it. Oh, she got a card, so you can look on the card and
Oh,
you can find her. But oh my goodness. So this card, shout out to 10K Cards. Each of my special guests, we give away a digital business card. So you have your own QR code there and you can scan and they
thank
can go,
you.
they can find you, your YouTube, your Instagram. They can find out where your products are, your
Thank
Spotify's and all
you.
of those things right there. So shout out to 10K Cards. I think this is so cool because we have the social distancing going on. So now all they
Mm-hmm.
have to do, I think they can literally, if I left this up without my face, and if they can scan it and have all your information right to their phone. It's so cool because
Well,
it looks
thank
just
you.
like this. Yep, that's yours. Shout out to 10K Cards, right?
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Don't get me over here
Ah.
crying now. I am an emotional little person. Thank you.
Oh, that's so cool. Who were some of your biggest inspirations
I would have to say,
musically?
hmm, of course, Aretha Franklin. She was
Oh, I can see that.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Whitney Houston, when I was younger, I used to tell my
Oh,
mom, I'm going to be Whitney Houston when I grow up. She said, no, you can sing like Whitney. No, I'm going to be Whitney Houston when I grow up. But
oh,
her, Etta James, Donny Hathaway, all the old school greats, I love them. All the way back to
oh.
Jackie Wilson, I love them.
Let me tell you who mine are. I love Judy Garland because I love musicals. I'm in
Okay.
love with I was loved with musicals before anything else. Because I love how they're on stage and the music is going, and then they get into character and they're just out
Yes.
there, and it's just like, and the costumes and the whole. I love Broadway shows. I'm missing it right now. Like I love them. So Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra. I love Frank Sinatra because
Yeah.
he helps me travel. Like I can like literally like listen to him and write and go places that I never thought I could go. Like he has this
Hmm.
one song, I call it Seasons, but I don't know how it goes. And it's just like, yeah, that's exactly how life is. Like we got to deal with the fall so we can be ready for winter. Like I don't know. I love him. I love Quincy Jones. He's the reason why I taught myself how to read music.
Hmm.
I don't do music. I do music, publicists. I want to assist and help. But when
Hmm.
you do that, you also have to educate yourself in whatever industry you decide to be in. I learned that being a college student,
Yes.
right? So I want to know, like, if
Yes.
I'm working with producers, I want to know what their job entails. I want to know, like, what equipment do they choose to work with over the other. I want to understand about the Pro Tools. I want to understand what the engineer does. All of those things
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
important. So when that I'm not promoting, I hate that word, but when I'm helping expand someone's brand,
Okay.
I am going with it from an understanding. When someone can understand what you do and what that entails, it brings a whole totally different kind of energy to the project, right?
Yes. Yes.
I don't
And
want anybody doing anything if they don't understand what the goal is.
I try to tell people that all the time. You have to research,
Hmm.
research. You have to. That's a downfall, I'd have to say, for a lot of independent artists or artists in general. A lot of time you hear, oh, my contract was messed up, blah, blah, blah. No, read, please
Yeah,
read.
yeah,
Don't just read books on, oh, how can I sing or how can I write lyrics? No, do some reading on being a manager as well, because sometimes you have to do your own type of, I guess you can say, promotions or bookings and things of that nature. So
exactly.
when someone do approach you and say, hey, I want to manage you, you already know, okay, this is what you need to be able to do, A, B, and C, and you're not going blinded in, you know.
Exactly. Even as an artist, because I think that sometimes they want to just do the artistry of it, but not understanding that
Hmm.
it is a business. It's a business first before anything. Like before you get on that stage, we need to know that the contract is signed and everything is ready to go. That needs to be
Right.
done even before you hit the stage. So it's the same thing with just life in general, just making sure that if you're going to be involved in whatever it is, just make sure you educate yourself and you do your homework. Absolutely.
That's
What do
right.
you
And think
do? What do you
outside the
enjoy
box.
what do you enjoy outside of music? Think outside the box. There is no box, people.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's no, unless you put yourself in a box, because a lot of
Unless, I
times
mean, well, the
people
only way
put
to be
themselves in a
there
box.
is if the only way to be there is if it's their perception that it's there. My eyes don't see
Mm-hmm.
it, so it's not there. But if you say it's
Mm-hmm.
there, it's there. He who says he can and he who says he can't, they're both right. Neither one of us is wrong. It depends on whatever they can see. So if they see the box, hopefully they can think outside of it.
I
Um,
see the box, but I see it on the other side. Like, nope, I'm not getting in that
you're
box
not
you're trying to
getting
put me in.
ex-
No, I'm over here on the
exactly.
outside. Hello.
Exactly. I put thinking outside the box because guys, go and follow him. That's the box. He's on there. He has this awesome podcast. It's so funny and so cool. So I put that there because that's my boy. And you look out for your friends because you want your friends to win, right? We winning.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we're winning. Tell me what your thoughts are on the music industry right now at this moment.
I like staying independent. I know that.
Uh-huh.
Not saying that being signed, there's anything wrong with it. I just know for me, that's not for me. You know,
Okay.
Ooh, a lot of things change, and I left my mom and dad's house years ago, so no, I don't need to be put back in again that box over there. I
I
don't need
guess
to
what
be
she's
put in
saying. You
there.
like to be free.
Yes, yes.
Let's.
If I want
I
to
know that.
release my album on this date, I'm going to do it as long as it looks, feasible that time. But yeah, I'm not going to have anybody telling me what to do. I don't like that.
No,
No,
I
no, no.
totally. Yeah, she says I understand. Grafted to give. She says I understand. Amen. Right. I know that we talked about some of the places that you perform, but is there like a favorite one?
I'd have to say for the Pistons because I had so much fun. I had a little girl come up to me. She was from
Hmm.
Mississippi with her family,
I love
and
that picture.
oh, thank you. You could see the pain in my eyes. I was hurting so bad. But I had a little
Only you can
girl.
see it. I can't see it.
Whew, I remember that day. I was like, "Where's the Ben Gay? Please, where's?" It? But I had a little girl come up to me with her family, and she said, "You sounded so pretty." And the little girl, she was probably maybe 6 or 7, and she
Uh huh.
gave me a hug. And of course, it was before COVID, of course, way before, and I started crying a little bit, and her family came over and said, "You are going to go far. You're such an inspiration." And just to hear that, it was like, okay, this is my purpose. So
See.
I would have to say, if I didn't perform there, I wouldn't know the people, or I wouldn't have got that. those comments and those messages that I gotten. So I would have to say that was my favorite,
Oh,
my most
wow.
favorite.
I want to say hello, Tyra86. She says, me and your nephews watching. We love you.
That's my sweetheart, my
Oh,
sister.
that is so beautiful.
I think I seen my
There,
other sister on here too.
There is no better frequency to be on than love. Oh my God, I love love. I love
Mhm.
love so much that I bought the trademark. Love is my motivation because that's what keeps me going.
Wow.
Love is my why for everything that I do. Like even this sweater, I'm like thriving in a toxic world because there's so many things that's going on right
Wow.
now, so many evil
Yes.
things, and people are really dying right before our eyes, and we still have to
Yes.
keep moving forward. We still got to try to keep a positive mindset, because if we don't, then
Mhm.
we could easily fall into the trap of like looking like the sheep that's locked into the gate. You will be right in
Mhm.
there. Like, and
Yes.
somehow
Yes.
turn into them. If you lose your mind, we can't lose our mind, so we have to have these conversations. Choose your path with Lena Michelle, R&B Empress. 4-time award winning, yes, Glow. I wrote down this quote and I want to share it, and then you can give me your feedback on it. It's really
Okay.
about what you focus on that grows. The people, the things that we see, the things that we hate, the things that we avoid, and the things that we deny, and the things that we wish. All of those things go back to what we focus on, right? So it's the
Mhm.
front and center and attention in your life. It's your truth and it's your choice. You get to face it and decide. With
Hmm.
some feedback that you can say when people think that it's impossible, because there are, I'm sure, someone on here that probably they have a dream, but it just looks way too big, and it just seems to be so impossible, because that's what I get from that.
Wow. Nothing is impossible. I think I heard you say before, fearless. You have to
Fearless.
be
Yeah.
fearless, And with me, I'm going to admit it's times that I'm scared, but it's like, what's the worst that's going to happen? And I just go ahead and do it. And you never know what's going to happen if you don't just jump and go do it. Say a
Oh
prayer
yeah.
before, pray
I'm
first, and then
afraid.
just do it.
Yeah,
Just
I
do it.
think the fear is there to motivate you, to push you if you allow it to. You can either, you have a
Hmm.
choice. You can like decide whether or not it paralyzes you, or you can decide to say, I'm going to go through this and see what happens.
Yes, yes. And I'm happy that,
I'm
of
glad you
course, I
decided.
have. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I'm happy that I have a cheerleader. I believe everyone needs a cheerleader, whether it's someone that's cheering for you or you being your own cheerleader. And not to sound cocky or anything, but you got to think about it. A basketball team, what do they have? Cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders,
Football
yeah.
team, cheerleaders. When you're doing something, you have to have cheerleaders. And I've been blessed to not only be able to speak life over my situations, I also have family that are my cheerleaders. Just little simple things like, hey, get up, go ahead. You want this. You got a deadline. Ain't nobody gonna give
Right.
you anything, and I am so thankful for that. Just
Yeah, so am
wow.
I. So am I. A lot of times we don't feel like it, but then don't you realize like how good you feel when you actually do it? It's a mind thing, because I think our mind is there to our brain is there to protect us from
Yes.
anything that
Yes.
may look like it's just too much for us to accomplish. And then when we don't listen to that and we just do it, we're like, man, I'm so happy that I did that. Or I'm so happy that I
Right.
had the
Right.
experience of being the first African American woman, unsigned. Let's like put
Yes.
that real big capitalized highlight that, to perform at Detroit Pistons. Like when I seen that, I said, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. That was at the top of my
Thank
list.
you.
Um,
Thank you.
what is the first? Now we'll go back. What is, tell me the two album. I think he just sent me something that you're about to release, or is it released? because
Did the
he just
manager
sent.
just send that?
Yes, he did because I don't.
He stays on top of his game. I have to say, I love you, honey, but he stays on top of his game.
Yes, he did, and I was like, okay, well, I'll bring that up.
Well, I don't know if he sent you about the two projects like Blue Dream Avenue.
Uh-huh.
That one I've done. I think I did that 2017. And again, it's still going strong. It was more just me finding myself. But with this new album that I have, Certified R&B Empress, I think I kind of found myself a little more. You
Oh.
know, I call myself an empress because everybody else call themselves a king or a queen. There's nothing wrong with that. But people got to remember your kingdom falls up under my empire. I'll never call myself a god because that means you're perfect and you know what you're
Hmm.
doing. There's
Right.
always room to grow. So I'm right
Always.
there. So I'm an empress.
Oh, I love that. I said, wow. When I sent it over to the designer for the flyer, I'm like, yeah, we put all of that together. That's her name.
Yeah,
I
that's me.
love that.
That's me.
That's very unique. Wow.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you.
how do you feel about the internet right now with music?
You know what? I'd have to say this, even if, and I'm trying not to sound too cocky, but even if we didn't have the internet, I think I would still be okay with my music because I still get out there and hit the pavement. But
Uh-huh.
right now, the internet is so big with music because you can easily say, go to this link, go to that link, go to this link,
Uh-huh.
that. And you see, like with Instagram, I was ready to just fight my phone, but we got it
Oh,
together.
but we got it together and we're here and we're having an amazing conversation. I always have my pen because I always try to take something away from each and every conversation, even for myself. If I'm going to give something away, I got to make sure I'm getting something back. So I write down something key that each guest says to take along in my journey. So this has been amazing. I think that we've covered a lot in our conversation. What is some of the best advice that you've ever received?
Well, from what you were saying tonight, that there is no box, even though I see it over there. The
Uh-huh,
reason
uh-huh.
why I keep bringing up the box and I keep saying I see it over there because so many people try to tell you what it is you should be doing, what they see you should be doing. So just like
Uh-huh.
you have that person, you have the next person. No, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. And by the time you look, you're all messed up.
Yeah.
I can't just cater, and again, elaborating on what you said, I can't just cater to one crowd. I have to cater to everybody. Everybody if I want to be successful. If I can just touch one person, I feel that I've done my job. I'm peacock proud if I just touch one person.
Well, it only takes
So,
one, right? If you
yes,
change one person's world, you change their whole world and all of the people in their family that they're connected to because you made their world better by choosing your
yes.
purpose, of course, which is so cool. That's a really good thing, a great thing. What does it look like in your creative process? Because we still have a few minutes. What does it look like for me? My creative process, like right now, I light the candle. Then I'm playing. I love Robert Glasper. Sometimes I listen to him a lot. I listen to Day One. He's one of my clients, so of course I'm going to listen to him. Instrumental works for me, and jazz works for me. That's my whole creative process before I start writing. What does your creative process look like before you go into the studio?
Well, like I say, medical marijuana, it helps. So, because it
Okay.
calms me, relax me.
uh,
It's like, okay, let me do this a little bit, but it
eh,
helps calm me, it relaxes me, and it helps me to focus to know, okay, we're about to get in the
okay.
studio. Also, prayer. And I
Oh,
just start
yes.
writing things that come to mind. I could write a song about the color blue if I had to. Just keep writing,
Mm,
just keep going. And I step in that studio. Don't get me wrong, I'm still nervous when I get in the studio because there's
okay.
times my husband and my engineer hear me singing on the outside and they'll stop the music and say, get back in the booth, do that same thing you did. And then I get in there like a deer in headlight.
Aw.
But praying and medical marijuana, when it's used the right way, I would have to say that's something that helps me. And when you say
Yeah.
candles, I make candles. So
You make
that's another
candles?
thing.
Okay, well
Yes.
you got a customer right here. I love candles. I'm in love with candles.
I'll send
I'm
you
big
one.
on meditation. Yeah, I'm big on meditation, so I'm always lighting a candle.
I'll send you one for Christmas because my candles are not the average candles. I can
Oh,
take it
okay.
and make it look like a milkshake. If you go to a bar, I can make it look like a cocktail drink. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, I'm in love already with it.
Ice cubes and everything. Margaritas, I can do that. That's, yeah.
Wow. When does this single, when do this, it's two singles, right?
Yes.
Is it two singles? Yeah. When do they
Yes.
come out? When would they be released?
Was certified, and I want to know it's already on my website. You can download
Okay.
those now. The album, right now, I'm kind of looking at January, maybe end of December, but I'm pushing more towards January. New year, new things.
Oh, yeah, that's
Kind
gonna
of
be
telling 2020,
awesome.
kind of telling 2020, thank you for
Thank
trying to bring
you.
me down, but it didn't happen.
Thank you for bye. Bye bye. Bye
Thank you. Bye
bye.
bye. I don't want to see you later. No, no, no.
Wow. So you guys, you have to go and follow. Shout out to my sponsor, 10K Cards again. This is an
Thank
amazing digital
you.
business card. I really believe, honestly, and I have one. If anyone wants to see what it actually is, you can click on the link in my bio. And my merchandise is there, and the book is there, and all of those cool things, if you need to find me, is there. And this is for you. This is it. You have your own QR code. It's literally, and I say this all the time, it sounds like I'm saying an infomercial. And I promise you, I'm not reading off of anything. Um, it's like my bookmark right under Netflix, like my
That's
face.
beautiful.
It is such a cool thing. Like you can make it a
Thank you.
bookmark on on your phone, and it's gonna look like you have your own app. I'm telling you, when you do it, message me and say, "Yep, I did it." Oh my God, you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, that is so
I
cool."
appreciate it. I thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I think we're coming to the end. At the end of each show, I'd like to leave. It's so funny because every time I say this, they'd be like one word or like a word. It's up to you. I, I want you to leave us with a word that we can to help us move along as we continue on this journey, this of unforeseen circumstances,
I'd have to say,
amazing opportunities.
pray. Pray. That's the best thing that I can say. And don't just sit around and pray and then sit there waiting for something to happen. No, I want you to pray. Keep on moving, and He will move you in the right direction. Trust me, trust me, trust me. You have to pray.
Absolutely.
You have
Oh my
to.
goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, you definitely
Thank
have to do
you.
that. That is amazing. I told someone, on the radio show that I do on Sundays, I said that it's great for us to have these conversations. Conversations are great because they spark something in our minds, but the only
Hmm.
way to see it into reality is put action to it. So you just like confirmed everything that I just said a couple of days
Oh,
ago that you got
wow.
to put action to it so we can pray. Yes, let's do that. And also when we're praying, let's not forget to be grateful for, having life and having,
Yes.
hopefully, I hope our well-being, our health is good, all of those things. So thank you so much, Lady Michelle. I want
Oh,
to
thank you
send
for having
love,
me.
light, and energy to you and your family. And I,
Same to
continue
you.
making great music. Thank you, everybody, for coming on Choose Your Path. Thank you to everyone who made donations. I really appreciate it. I promise that your seed will go into good ground.
And please
Bye.
make sure you send me your information so I can send you
Oh, I'm gonna
that
send it
gift.
right now because I get
Especially
very
being late. I
busy.
am so sorry.
We're not even worried about that. It was amazing time. Thank you. I will send it to you now, though. Okay.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye.